what is up YouTube, Noezone here, and today we're going to be reviewing episode 2 of She-Hulk. Now this will be a spoiler review since this is a TV series and you'll have to see the previous episode in order to understand, so these will be spoiler reviews. And if there's any specific part of the video that you want to get to first, I will have timestamps down in the description below, so make sure to check those out. But anyways guys, without any further ado, let's get into the She-Hulk episode 2 review. In this episode, Jennifer Walters is fired from the law firm that she works for because of her fight with Titania at the end of last episode, the one that looked like a CW fight. This leads her to look for a new job where she is denied constantly until she is offered to be the head of the superhuman law division at GOK&H, where she has to represent Emil Blonsky, aka the Abomination, as her first client. But with that said, I'm going to start off with my positives of the episode. Starting off, it was pretty entertaining. Tatiana Maslany still gives a good performance in this episode and continues to be a really likable character for me. I like the family dinner scene a good bit, but more so the heart-to-heart she has with her dad after. I thought the tiny details or questions that characters have about superheroes were pretty cool. Like at the family dinner when the dad's talking about, does Hawkeye leave his arrows around or does he retrieve them? Or when Jennifer asks her best friend if superheroes even get paid, which also was kind of mentioned in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I like the office scene at GOK&H because of how visibly uncomfortable you can tell Jennifer is being used the way she is, especially when she is told that she has to represent Emil Blonsky or she'll get fired. Moving on to my negatives of the episode, this episode is way too short. Without credits, it comes in at a whopping 23 minutes of content. I remember watching it, and when it ended, I literally said out loud, "Is that it?" So yeah, I wasn't really happy with the runtime. This episode feels like mostly filler, except for some of the positives that I named. Most of the humor does not land for me personally, especially in the bar scene at the beginning of the episode. Like, I found myself cringing a lot. The CGI for She-Hulk just looks so unnatural in a lot of scenes, especially compared to Hulk's in his scene. The scene where she meets Emil Blonsky, because it almost feels forced with how much his character has changed. Now, I do have a counter to this. They could be setting up a parallel with Smart Hulk, where they both kind of find their peace, like now, and then they both go berserk again. That would be pretty cool because it could set up a whole Hulk movie on that, or a season 2 of She-Hulk. But let's be honest, we want the Hulk movie. Moving on to the post-credit scene of the episode, it's literally just She-Hulk doing house chores for her family. Moving on to Easter eggs, and man, is there some cool ones in this episode. When Jennifer calls Bruce about taking the Emil Blonsky case, Bruce mentions that he was a completely different person when he fought Emil Blonsky. This is a cool nod because Bruce was played by Edward Norton, not Mark Ruffalo, when that fight happened, and I like that they're acknowledging the Incredible Hulk now, because for a while I didn't even seem like the movie was canon, I'm not gonna lie. Second Easter egg is when Jennifer is on her laptop, there's a site that she's on that has two headlines off to the side. One says, "Why there's a giant statue of a man sticking out of the ocean," this referring to the events of Eternals. The other headline says, "Man fights with metal claws in bar brawl." This is 100% referring to Wolverine, which is really cool that we're getting a reference to Wolverine in a Hulk related project, because his character actually debuted for the first time in Hulk comics in 1974. Then he went to X-Men in 1975. The next Easter egg is Jennifer's lock screen, and it's Captain America's ass, continuing the joke from last episode. There's a QR code at the top of the site that I mentioned earlier that takes you to a free She-Hulk comic. At the end of the episode, there's news that Emil Blonsky broke out of prison and is fighting as the Abomination in a fight club. And if you remember, this actually happened in Shang-Chi. And this last thing that I'll mention, this isn't really an Easter egg, but I wonder where Bruce is going to in that ship from Sakaar. Is he going back there? Somewhere else entirely? Is this setting up a World War Hulk movie? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. But moving on to my overall thoughts of the episode, I thought this episode was very average. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. And I also hope the next episode is longer, because this one is so short it should have just been aired with the first one. But anyway guys, that was my spoiler review of episode 2 of She-Hulk. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment on what you think of the episode, share the video with a friend if you think they enjoyed as well, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for more content like this and so that you never miss an upload. And as always guys, it's been Noezone. Peace.